Good evening. It is Tuesday, December 21st, 2021, and coming to you live from the Lonely Tree Media Studios in Yakima, Washington. This is the Best Lamb Sports Show. So I'm your host, David Lamb. Once again, I am Parkerless for this episode. But you know what? If Parker were here, he would want this. So, applause anyway. You don't want to shortchange the studio audience. You want to make sure that they get everything they paid to get. We are streaming on YouTube. We're on Twitter at Lamb Sports. We're on Facebook under the Best Lamb Sports Show. You can send us an email. It's lambsports@gmail.com. And please check out our webpage, www.lambsports.com. You can find links to the past shows and the current trivia question on the website. A lot of sports to talk about. We're going to go over it real quick, although really not as much as normal. So, I mean, and without Parker here, the show goes pretty quick. So we don't have everything we used to have because some of it's COVID, some of it's ended, and so we just don't have as much. But anyway, we're going to talk about the NFL first. And right now, if you're an NFL fan, the Seahawks and Rams are playing in the fourth quarter, and Rams have taken the lead 17-10 over the Seahawks with about 7:42 to go in the fourth. And the Seahawks have just punted the ball back to the Rams. That's why they have the ball. So anyway, Rams on their own 13, leading 17-10. Not be a season ender for the Seahawks by any stretch. It won't knock them out of the playoffs. It will help the Rams in terms of seeding and home field advantage. But we'll have to wait and see. They'll be one of those 10-win teams if they get it. There'll be 4 of them. Green Bay, who's already clinched a playoff spot. Tampa Bay, Arizona, and then the Rams will all be 10-4. So it's interesting. The NFC, we'll get to the playoff picture a little bit later. But anyway, Seahawks are playing. It's down 17-10. Rams have the ball. It's one of those games that got postponed over the weekend. There's another one. And right now the team formerly known as the Redskins, the Washington football team, is trailing the Eagles 20-17. They just started the fourth quarter with 11:44 to go in the fourth quarter. And Washington scored on a 1-yard Patterson run right up the middle to make it a 3-point game. But now Philadelphia has the ball. So that's that. What happened over the weekend in terms of football? Well, you know what? Wait. We're not there yet. I skipped ahead a little bit. That's okay. First part of our show, as always, is brought to you by The Range. The Range is Central Washington's premier indoor shooting destination at 34,000 square feet. The Range is an all-inclusive facility offering firearm training, retail sales and supplies, full gunsmithing and repairs, custom builds, and Cerakote services. It's all under one roof at The Range, open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 7, Sunday 11 to 5. Go see our friends at The Range, 1701 Garrettson Lane in Yakima. Phone number is 509-571-1449. The Range, educate, equip, and empower. So now we can talk about what happened on Thursday night, which was a really, really good football game between the Chargers and the Chiefs. But the Chargers dropped a heartbreaker, 34-28 in overtime. LA had opportunities to win this game, but their, let's call it a lack of willingness to kick a field goal, resulted in this loss. Justin Herbert was good. He was 22 of 38, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have one interception that was tipped at the line of scrimmage. The Chargers scored with 2:36 left in the game to make it 28-21. They took the lead, but the defense that had played well all game allowed Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City to go 75 yards in 8 plays using just 59 seconds and tie the game with a Mahomes to Travis Kelce 7-yard TD. Then that same defense gave up a 34-yard Mahomes to Kelce TD in overtime that was a product of really bad pursuit and blown coverage, combination of things. And LA's defense looked like LA's defense. LA turned the ball over on downs twice in this one, refusing to attempt a field goal and fumbled at the goal line after driving 97 yards early in the fourth quarter. I'm going to put this loss squarely on the shoulder of analytics. Analytics are telling you to go for it on fourth down. Analytics are telling you to make these plays and that you're going to be successful and whatever. They weren't, and they lost because they have decided that this is how they're going to play. The Chargers would go for it on fourth down more than any other team. And it just didn't pay off in this one. A game that they could have won had they just kicked a field goal, and they would be in first place in the AFC West. And instead, they're looking up at the Chiefs, and right behind them are the Raiders and the Broncos. So I don't know. I don't like it. I like it, but I don't like it. I like the aggressiveness. I like the gambling. I just don't like the fact that you have points you can go get right now. Go get them, right? In a game that's close and at the time was fairly low scoring, go get the points when you can get them. What do I know? I don't know anything. I just work here. Other NFL games this week. Saints 9, Buccaneers 0. Saints now own the 7th and final playoff spot. I don't think that's true because Minnesota's win yesterday. So I think Minnesota's now in that 7th and final playoff spot in the NFC, just ahead of the Saints. They own the tiebreaker by best win percentage in conference games. All right. Anyway, it was good to see Tom Brady get frustrated. It really was. It was fun to watch. I've been a anti-Tom Brady person my entire life. I know he's great. Got it. I think that he got great by some cheating. I think he got, he was good to begin with and didn't really need to do that. But it's fun to watch him get humiliated, frustrated, get angry at his team for not being good. Curtis Godwin and Mike Evans both get hurt in this game. Godwin's out for the rest of the year with an ACL tear. So he's missing some players, and it's going to be interesting to see how Tampa Bay regroups. They're still in third place in the NFC in terms of they hold the 3 seed, if you want to call it that. Colts over the Patriots, 27-17. Just when I thought the Patriots were that team, right? And they were on fire. Colts beat them. So the Colts are 8-6 now. Patriots 9-5. They're right there. So there's a lot of teams in the AFC, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. That is going to be a confusing last week of the season kind of thing. Carson Wentz and the Colts pull a Patriot trick and only throw the ball 12 times in their win. Dolphins overcame a 17-7 deficit to win 31-24 over the Jets. It was an ugly game for Miami, who turned the ball over 3 times, including a pick 6 in the fourth quarter. Did we mention that the Jets are bad? Because as bad as Miami played, they beat the Jets 31-24. Bills 31, Panthers 14. The Bills needed a win. They really did. Buffalo is 8-6. Buffalo, who I thought was going to be the division winner in the AFC East, is the last playoff seed, the 7th seed in the AFC right now. However, at 8-6, the Patriots are 9-5. Next week, guess what? Bills Patriots for the division lead. Lions 30, Cardinals 12. What? Just like everyone predicted. I know if you were listening at home and you had picked the winner of this game, you absolutely would have put everything you had on the Lions. Am I wrong? Probably. The Lions now lose their number 1 pick status, at least for a little bit, by winning that game and handing it to Jacksonville. So there's that. I don't know. You're at 1-11 and 1. 1-11 and 1. Maybe you just tank these games. But credit to Detroit, they didn't do it. Found a way to win. Beat the number 1 team in the NFC at the time. No longer number 1, but Arizona's now 10-4. Detroit 2-11 and 1. I know, right? So Cowboys 21, Giants 6. Cowboys moved to 10-4, and now the Cowboys are the number 2 seed in the NFC thanks to tiebreakers, which is amazing. But I think Dallas can clinch with one more win next week against Washington. They can clinch the division with a couple games left. So we might get a little bit of rest for the Cowboys, but Cowboys won 21-6 over the Giants. Where am I? I'm totally lost on the scores. Steelers get a huge win against the Titans, 19-13, thanks to 4 Tennessee turnovers and Chris Boswell hitting 4 out of 5 field goals. Steelers were down 13-3 at the half. Texans over the Jaguars, 30-16. No one cares. But Houston also now doesn't have a chance at this point. Well, they're a game ahead of Jacksonville, so they're the 3rd pick now. I mean, I would think losing a game, I'd have thought that would have been a 0-0 game headed into overtime. Neither team wanting to win that. What do I know? Just goes to show you not every team's out there tanking. But, that might have been what I would have done. Bengals 15-10 over the Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater hurt in this one, carted off the field for Denver. It's not a great game to watch. It was not polished or good in any way. If you really watched the game, it was just a bad-looking football game. Niners 31, Falcons 13. Niners moved to 8-6 in the playoffs. If they started today, they'd be the number 6 seed. What else we got? Packers 31, Ravens 30. Tyler Huntley's 2-point conversion pass toward Mark Andrews with 42 seconds left was a bold gamble that did not pay off, and got knocked away there at the end, and they lose 31-30 to the Packers. The Packers clinched a playoff spot with the win. They're 11-3. Also, they're the number 1 seed currently in the NFC. Baltimore, with the loss, has fallen out of the playoffs. They're 8-6. So they're tied with Buffalo, the Chargers, the Colts, and the Bengals, who are all in the playoffs. But due to tiebreakers, they're the 8 seed currently. So they have some work to do. Fortunately for them, they play the Bengals next week. So that's a AFC North division title tilt. And the Steelers are only a half game back. I thought we should write off the Steelers a while back. They're 7-6-1. So two Monday night games. Raiders beat the COVID-depleted Browns 16-14 on Daniel Carlson's 48-yard field goal with no time left to help pretty much make a mess of things in the AFC. Had the Browns won, they would also be up there for the division lead with Cincinnati. Instead, they're a game back. And then the Raiders propelled themselves right back into the middle of the AFC West, which is a mess as well. What else? Vikings moved to 7-7 with a 17-9 win over the Bears. Tonight, like I said, you got the Washington football team at the Eagles. It's 27-17 Eagles. Jalen Hurts with a 19-yard pass reward for a touchdown to put them up 27-17. 7:46 to go in the fourth. There's still time in that one. Seattle and the Rams, just an update, 17-10 Rams. They still have the football and are driving into Seattle territory with 2:27 left to go in the fourth quarter. This one looks to be all but over. I'm not going to say it's over because it's never over until it's over, as they say. But let's look at the playoff picture if it started today, because this is what we do. If it started today, here's your AFC playoff picture. Chiefs are number 1 at 10-4. They have the best record, clear cut. Patriots and Titans are both 9-5. Patriots win the tiebreaker because they beat them this year. And then you have Bengals, Colts, Chargers, Bills, Ravens, all 8-6. All kinds of tiebreakers to figure out that order. Ravens are the short stick. They're the odd man out. Steelers 7-6-1. And then you have all these other teams. The Raiders, the Dolphins, the Browns, the Broncos, all 7-7, all have a chance to make the playoffs. A good chance to make the playoffs. Just need one win and a loss by somebody else, and you're back in this. And heck, those teams that are 7-7, they're only 2 games out of second, being the second seed in the AFC. So anything can happen right now. All these teams, the AFC West, in case you're watching, the AFC West and the AFC North, both could put all 4 teams into the playoffs if things fell the right way. It looks like the AFC North, due to tiebreakers, is probably the better position to do that. But we'll have to see. NFC, and by the way, this is thanks to ESPN. This is their current standings, playoff standings. So there you see the Green Bay Packers, 11-3, best record in football, as a matter of fact. The Cowboys, Buccaneers, Cardinals now all 10-4. Looks like the Rams might be 10-4 after tonight. I don't know how that'll impact the standings exactly yet, but I think they'll stay the same. Niners 8-6. Vikings, Saints, both 7-7. Washington, depending upon the winner, one of those 2 teams, Washington or Philly, is going to be 7-7. The other's going to be 6-8, but not out. Atlanta 6-8. Seahawks are probably going to be 5-9. And then the Panthers are 5-9 also. Even the Giants at 4-10 are not out of the playoff spot because there's 3 games remaining, and they're only 3 games out of that 7th seed. So it's a mess. It's going to get worse. We'll talk more after next week and see what happens. But it's going to get ugly. It's going to get worse before it gets better. If you are wondering, thanks to ESPN, this is the schedule for next week, week 16 in the NFL. So San Francisco, Tennessee, gigantic game on Thursday night. That's playoff implications on both sides. Cleveland at Green Bay. It's huge for Cleveland. Green Bay, not so much, but it's huge for Cleveland to get a win. Indianapolis and Arizona, both fighting for playoff position. Those are Baltimore, Cincinnati is for a division lead. The Rams at Minnesota. Minnesota's still battling for a playoff spot. They're the 7 seed right now. Can't afford to lose. Buffalo at New England. That's for the AFC East lead. Who else is in this? Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Denver, Las Vegas. One of those two teams might be out after a loss. So, and then of course Dallas has a chance to win the division if they beat Washington, and then Miami at New Orleans. Those are 2 7-7 teams. Anything could happen right there. So much good playoff football or playoff type football where you have to have a win, except the reason that we're all here is because it's mediocre. Everyone is about 500 in the NFL, so it's hard to say if it's all parity or just mediocre football, which, anyway, that's the playoff picture as it stands right now. Bowl season is upon us, right? College football bowl season is upon us. And trivia question is all about bowl games. Let's go to the trivia question first before we talk about the Oregon State Beavers. But the Save and Stone trivia question, there are 9 FBS schools with all-time winning percentages above 700 in bowl games. That means they win 7 out of 10 if they had played that many or if they did. 9 FBS schools with winning percentages above 700 in bowl games in the history of their school. Only one of those 9 teams is from a Power 5 conference. And I want to know who it is. So there are no other teams from a Power 5 conference who have a winning percentage above 700, but there's one. So that's the Save and Stone trivia question. Let's go back and talk about the Oregon State Beavers, who were the first Pac-12 team to have a chance to make a statement in the postseason, and they did not. Well, they made a statement. It just wasn't the right one. Mountain West champs Utah State beat Oregon State in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl on Saturday, 24-13. And I don't know when Jimmy Kimmel got his own bowl game, but I want one. The Beavs led this one 10-7 in the second quarter, but 2 second-half turnovers thwarted any shot at staying in this. I think it's going to be a long bowl season for the Pac-12. UCLA plays North Carolina State in the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl. By the way, San Diego County Credit Union used to do the Poinsettia Bowl, and then it was easy because it was the SDCC UPB. And so now they've changed it, so it's the SDCC UHB Holiday Bowl. On Monday, 12/27, that's this coming Monday, 5 o'clock on Fox, Oregon versus Oklahoma in the Valero Alamo Bowl. That's Wednesday the 29th, 6:15 on ESPN. Wisconsin versus Arizona State in the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. That's Thursday the 30th, next Thursday, at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. Washington State and Miami, the new home of Mario Cristobal, if you're looking. Washington State versus Miami in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl Friday, 12/31. That's New Year's Eve, 11 a.m. on CBS. And Ohio State versus Utah in the Rose Bowl presented by Capital One Venture X on New Year's Day at 2 p.m. on ESPN. And by the way, I think that the Sun Bowl is missing an opportunity. If you got Tony the Tiger as your sponsor and it's not Kellogg's, it's just Tony the Tiger, shouldn't we rename it the Cereal Bowl? I'm just saying. If Kellogg's is going to have a sponsorship, let's do it. But it's been the Sun Bowl forever, tradition, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, that's just kind of how it is. So the second half of the show is brought to you by Boss Kitty Hand-Dyed Yarns. Be sure to tune in to BossKittyLive.com for knit-alongs, exclusive sales, games, and fun. And you're going to meet new fiber friends. It's interactive, it's fun, it's free. Go to BossKittyLive.com, which is, I think, through Twitch. And you can watch and play along and talk and chat, and it's fun. Go on BossKittyShop.com and get your DK and fingering weight yarns as well as stitch and progress markers. Looking for a gift? Get them a Boss Kitty Shop virtual gift card. Let them pick it out themselves. That's Boss Kitty Hand-Dyed Yarns. Yarn so boss you'll knit your pants. Second half of the show, let's talk real quick about Formula One. This is the last time probably for the year. Lewis Hamilton and his Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff did not attend the FIA's prize-giving ceremony in Paris last Thursday, which I have a problem with. Under Article 6.6 of Formula One's sporting regulations, the top 3 drivers in the championship are required to attend the ceremony to pick up trophies. But following the events of the last race, Hamilton, who finished second, decided not to attend. Wolff was invited to Paris to pick up the Constructors' Trophy, which Mercedes won for the 8th year in a row, but also decided not to attend. And And Wolf's quote last Thursday was, "No, both of us won't be there, and I won't be there because of my loyalty to Lewis and because of my own personal integrity." So sportsmanship be damned, or politeness or courtesy or whatever. You're going to say that I think it was wrong, so I'm not going to come and be a part of anything. So, will you take part in the races next year? Yeah. Just this is your protest. You know, they already dropped their lawsuit, their official protests, because they were going to get dismissed anyway about what happened in the season. And if you don't know what happened in the season, just look up F1 2021 season, and you'll find all the information. I think it's just sour grapes is what it comes across as now. So I don't like it. I think you go. And Lewis Hamilton had a fairly good excuse. He was being knighted by the Queen. Pretty high honor for a British citizen. I feel like they could have done both. I mean, this is today's day and age. I feel like unless she was doing it exactly on Thursday at exactly the same time as this award ceremony, which she wasn't, I feel like they could have found a way to get him from Paris to London. I don't know, in fairly quick time. I don't know if that's even possible anymore. Maybe there's just no way to get there. I don't know. Let's talk about basketball for just a minute or two. Portland Trailblazers. They won back-to-back games, improved to 13-18 on the season. They won 125-116 over Charlotte and 105-100 over Memphis. Damian Lillard must be getting healthy. He went for 43 against the Hornets, 32 against the Grizzlies. The Blazers are playing right now, if I'm not mistaken, against the New Orleans Pelicans. 7:10 to go in the fourth. New Orleans leads 92-88 over Portland. I don't know. The Blazers are going to be up and down. It's going to be all year. Still playing without C.J. McCollum. I know they're injured and banged up. This is going to be a struggle this whole season, I think. And they're still bad. They're 2-11 on the road this year. I don't know. That win against the Grizzlies was only their second win on the road this season. It's going to be a long year. And if you're expecting them to do anything and climb above an 8 seed, or, they're probably going to make the playoffs in the end, in that the expanded playoffs cover 10 teams per conference. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how they can fix it. I don't know if they can do anything for this year. But I don't have a whole lot of faith that the Blazers are going to pull off some major miracle and we're going to see something fantastic. So hold on to your butts. It might be a long season. They need to get a GM in there. They need to start making some decisions, trades. So they need to get someone permanent in that position. Let's talk about the Seattle Kraken for a minute, because hockey. The NHL schedule has been decimated by COVID. They're going to pause the season on Wednesday, 2 days before its planned Christmas break. The league announced on Monday evening. That's last night. All NHL team facilities will be closed from Wednesday through Saturday as the league tries to weather several COVID-19 outbreaks. Players are set to report back to team facilities on Sunday and resume daily testing. The NHL schedule is set to resume on December 27th. It was a challenging week for the NHL. 11 teams suspended operations, and the league postponed all games through Christmas that involved cross-border travel between Canada and the U.S. More than 15% of the league's players were in virus protocols as of Monday night. So the Kraken are now 10-17-3, 23 points in the Pacific Division, still dead last. Seattle's next game, because their game that was supposed to be played tonight against Arizona got postponed. So their next game will be Monday the 27th at Vancouver, 7 p.m. on ESPN+. If you want to catch it and watch it. Some quick sports notes. The Oregon Ducks men's basketball team lost to number 1 Baylor on Saturday, 78-70. It was a good performance by the Ducks, who are now 7-7 on the season, but they're struggling. They're taking on Pepperdine down in Eugene right now. And I will tell you that, yeah, I will tell you that it is 37-33 Oregon at the half. Playing at home, I would hope they'd be better than that, but they're struggling. This is a team that is struggling to play basketball right now. They should be much better. They have a lot of talent. They're just not playing well as a team. So it's going to be a long season. So also, OSU men's basketball team. They were 2 baskets away from the Final Four last year, and they're now 1-10 to start this season. Manchester City leads the English Premier League with 44 points, 3 ahead of Liverpool, if you aren't paying attention. Bayern Munich has a 9-point lead over Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga. Internazionale, which is Inter Milan, in case you're not watching, leads Napoli 43 to 39 points in Serie A. That's Series A, or the A League. The New York Mets announced Buck Showalter as their new manager. Buck Showalter, by the way, has a career in 27 years of Major League Baseball coaching. Of his career record is 1,551 wins, 1,517 losses. So over the course of 27 years and 3,060-something games, he has 34 more wins than losses. Does that tell you anything about baseball? Baseball's a 500 game. I mean, it just is. And, of course, it may not even matter. The MLB lockout is 3 weeks old. Probably won't be heavily negotiated on again until January after the holidays. They are talking. The sides are talking, but it's minor economic points. They aren't anything big. Who knows what will happen right now, but if they don't reach an agreement, you may have a shortened season. You may have a delayed start to the season, or who knows how it'll work out, but it's not great. I mean, nobody's happy with it. And, they argued about it last year. They're arguing about money all the time. And these are people that make a crap ton of money arguing about money. And nobody wants to hear that. So, anyway, long story short, let's talk about the trivia question, right? 9 Stave & Stone trivia. Sorry. The Best Lamb Sports Show trivia question is brought to you by Stave & Stone Wine Estates in Hood River. The winery at the Vineyard, 3827 Fletcher Drive. Downtown tasting room is at 210 Oak Street. Call them, 541-946-3750. That's 541-WINE-750. Or email them, info@staveandstone.com for more information. Stave & Stone, wines with personality. Make sure you call them for a reservation or email them or whatever. But do get a reservation because holiday season, limited seating, blah, 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 limited hours through the holidays. So just make sure you get a reservation. So, trivia question was, anybody remember? Because, that was a long time ago. 9 FBS schools with all-time winning percentages above 700 in bowl games. Only one is from a Power 5 conference, and who is it, was the question, right? Because does anyone know the answer to this? So, let me start by telling you the answer, which is Utah. Utah is the only team in a Power 5 conference with a winning percentage in bowl games above 700. They have a 739 winning percentage. They're 17-6 all-time in bowl games. They are playing Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. The other teams that are above 700, Liberty, who's 3-0, New Mexico State, 3-0-1, Appalachian State, 6-1, Florida Atlantic, 4-1, Georgia Southern, 3-1, Louisiana Lafayette, 5-2, Marshall, 12-5, and UNLV, 3-1. So none of the big name schools, and they're going to tell you, the big name schools are going to tell you that they play tougher teams. But that's not necessarily true. If you're from one of these other conferences, then your bowl games are against teams that are just as tough, if not tougher, comparatively. So I think there's that. Anyway, that's all we have for today. I don't even have the funky music anymore. I've got the regular funky. We'll play it on the way out. That's okay. Live streaming on YouTube every week. We're on Twitter @Lamb Sports. We're on Facebook under the Best Lamb Sports Show. You can send us an email, lambsports@gmail.com. Please check out the website. I want to thank ESPN, NFL, NBA, MLS, NHL, NCAA, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, our sponsors, The Range in Yakima, Boss Kitty Yarns, Stave & Stone Wine Estates in Hood River. This has been a Brain Rock production, a division of Lonely Tree Media, LLC. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.